In this video, I'm going to build iconic characters, the whole main stadium, and much more from Clash Royale, all in LEGO. So for those who don't know what Clash Royale is, it's one of the biggest mobile games at the moment, where basically two players battle to destroy each other's towers using some weird troops and spells, which is exactly what I'll be recreating first. To do this, I would need to paint, build, and put together some custom minifigures. For example, here's the famous Hog Rider in LEGO. Hog Rider! I gave him his battle hammer and the pig he rides. I built this hog using the Action Bricks tutorial because of how complicated it is. Here are some more popular characters from the game, such as Knight, Archer, Mini-P.E.K.K.A, Goblin, Bomber, Skeletons, and a Barbarian. All of these minifigures are the more simple troops from the game. I also made a log, which is a type of spell. Using the snot brick technique, I can place spikes everywhere around it. It would suck to step on this. That leaves us off at 9 out of 39 cards I'll be making in this video. So with that, let's start building the arena where the troops will battle at. The stadium I'm going for is this one, normally shown in the Clash Royale animations. This arena just looks the drippiest and finest out of all of them. I started by using this pre-built layout of the stadium. It has this massive river, paths, and this field. I used these two different types of green tiles to match the field from the game. Let's first start building the two bridges. I used yellow slow pieces instead of gold because it's so much more expensive and my bank account isn't looking too good right now. I added these 4 yellow pillars on each side, which completes the bridges. Now troops are able to get across both sides easier. For the main towers on the field, I used snot bricks to make the base thicker than the walls, and then finished building the tops of the towers. For the 2 large main ones, I added their own cannon on each of them for the kings to shoot with. Speaking of kings, here they are in LEGO. Sadly, I didn't have any crown pieces, so I had to use these helmets for a replacement, which is kind of a downgrade. I also made the tower princesses that go on the smaller towers with their own bows. So far, the stadium looks incomplete, but sick. Anyways, it's time for some more troops to be added in the arena. Here's Musketeer, Elite Barbarian, Dark Goblin, one of the best cards in the game in my opinion, both the Rascal Girls and Boy, Firecracker with the rocket launcher from Fortnite, the Wizard, Wall Breakers, Witch, Prince, and Dark Prince. These were a pain to make, but I think both of them turned out really well with the horses. Here's the Royal Recruits, 6 of them to be exact, Hunter, Guards, Executioner, Miner, Lumberjack, and Fisherman. Fisherman is low-key my favorite card in the game, not gonna lie. Let's add all these troops into the arena with the others. That's all the painted minifigures done. We still gotta build the larger troops and buildings, but let's continue with the arena. Now every arena or stadium has stands for people to watch the battle, even in real life. So let's build 4 sets of them on each side of the build. For this, I used these pre-built stands I made and attached them to the ground. Then built a guardrail at the end of it so we don't have any people falling off the stands and into the battlefield. But that's not it. Under every stand, I left enough room to build anything I want under them. The first room I'll be making is going to be a bar. I first built the dark tan floor and then added all sorts of tables around the place, while still giving it a rundown vibe. I then built the actual bar in the center of the room and after put these cool wanted and hiring posters around the place. I put the bartender behind the bar and scattered a bunch of apple juice and food across the tables. I then threw in some minifigures to brighten up the mood, which finishes off the first room. Next, the room beside it, which will be an Elixir Science Lab. If you didn't know, Elixir is used to spawn cards in the game, so on the left side of the room I placed this mini Elixir pump that's dug up the ground, collecting Elixir. After that, I built a bunch of other random things like this desk full of junk, this table full of Elixir that actually uses an illegal building technique when placed on the ground, and the chalkboard full of science. I put a scientist experimenting with Elixir, which completes the second room. The third room is a trophy room that holds a bunch of treasures such as cash, a bunch of gold, a ton of trophies, and crystals. Better hope nobody robs the place because nobody is stopping them. The last room is an armory, where troops can grab their weapons for battle. I built a table full of swords, a barrel full of dynamite, a bucket of crossbows, and then attached knives and pickaxes to the wall. With that finishes up the stands with fully detailed rooms under them. Which is perfect timing. The next set of cards are ready, but they're not minifigures. All of these are brick built, and some of them I had to use tutorials for. Here are 3 different types of spirits: Fire Spirit, Ice Spirit, and Heal Spirit. Here's this huge giant skeleton build with this bomb and bag on its back, suspicious bush, flying machine, lava hound, and ice golem. Here's Mega Knight in LEGO. This has to be one of my favorite troops I built in this video. There's so much detail, it has everything, and its size is accurate compared to a normal minifigure. I also built this custom Zappy and Sparky, which also looks great in LEGO compared to the game. Though I wouldn't mess with it if I were you. Next, I want to build a huge golden pipe that spits out water into the river. It kind of reminds me of the Mario pipes. I first built these gray slanted pillars where the pipe is going to go. I made sure to add a chain on both sides connecting to the field to keep it in place. After that, I built these wooden pillars right next to the gray ones. So then I attached these pieces that are supposed to be a gear on top. With the gears in place, I put the large yellow pipe on the pillars, attaching them to the gears to set it in place. But it still needs water, so I added these transparent blue glass to the pipe and built this large waterfall, making it look like the water is falling out of the pipe. This looks epic and way better than I was expecting. I guess I'm just a master builder. Bruh. Though that's not it, because where's the water gonna drain? In this animation, there's this building that's on top of the sewer, so I built that part and placed it in. And then also added this floor with a door on top of the building. I did leave some space for another room, so I put in a light, a table full of maps, this bookshelf, a dog, and this queen minifigure. On the outside, I built these tiny canopies on the sides and attached more chains to the floor. There is this pattern on top of the wall in the animation, so I recreated in LEGO using more gray pieces. I added gold bars on all the corners and finished the building off with the roof. These two parts of the whole build really makes this build pop out even more. Now we've built troops, we've built spells, well, kinda. Now let's build some building carts from the game. Building carts are mostly used to stop enemy troops from damaging your tower, so here are 5 different ones starting with the cannon. I used this gray cone piece for the barrel of the cannon. Here's Tesla. This is probably the best building out of all of the ones I've made. This is the mortar. It can shoot rocks from far distances. Here's the Inferno Tower. This building just kind of reminds me of the Eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. And finally, Goblin Hut, which spawns basically an infinite number of goblins until destroyed. When I was looking up things I should build from the game, I saw that there are actual landscapers who use these carts to clean up the field. So I used the remaining bits of gold pieces I have to build my own with its own driver. Dang, if only this was real gold. For the last part of the stadium, I'm going to build these large buildings behind the main towers. I started by placing these gray and dark gray walls on this pool of water. I then placed a smaller red wall on the sides and a gray slanted one on the top. I built the large building off camera and placed it in between the other walls. I used these flex pieces where you could twist them up and down and place them on the back of this roof where they can lie sideways. I added in a chandelier and this table where minifigures can gamble out their life savings. I basically copy and pasted the exact layout on the blue side and placed down rocks in the water on both sides of the arena. To finish it off, I placed benches on the gray paths and started adding in our troops. Finally, the arena is complete. Well, for now. You see, when I was going to start building the last 4 corner towers of the arena, I noticed that I'm almost out of my gray bricks and I already went way over budget in this video. So we have to skip those for now. Otherwise, the arena is finished. I gotta say, this is a ginormous build even without the last couple towers, and it turned out way cooler than I thought. Well, that's Clash Royale in LEGO. Thanks for watching, and get ready for episode 2.